The bitter battles and the scientific struggles behind the development of the world's first test tube baby is subject of a major new film. Joy tells the story of Louise Joy Brown, who was born through IVF back in 1978 and gave hope to millions of couples. It's seen through the eyes of young embryologist Jean Purdy, whose pioneering work helped unlock the puzzle of infertility. And that work is as in demand as ever, especially in the UK. It can take 3 months to 3 years to start fertility treatments, but it depends where you live. Supply is a postcode lottery. In England, the average wait time for IVF is just over 9 months. The treatment's seen the birth of 390,000 babies across the country since 1991. And worldwide, there have been 12 million IVF births. Our arts editor, Nina Nanar, spoke to some of the stars and the writers behind the new movie and also heard from Louise Brown herself.
It was the birth of a new era, a baby conceived by a process called in vitro fertilisation, a world first, a triumph of British medical expertise. And now the story of the 3 pioneers who fought to make IVF and Louise Joy Brown a reality is being told in a new film that details the decade-long struggle they faced.
Mr. Steptoe will be an excellent member of our team.
This team, which you've not yet explained to me.
Oh, we're going to help make babies.
Lack of funding or support from the medical authorities for work in women's fertility in the late 60s and 70s was staggering, says the actor playing renowned surgeon Patrick Steptoe.
As a man of his age and class and profession in those years, to involve himself in women's medicine, which was considered by surgeons, a surgeon told me this, was considered to be a less distinguished path in terms of your career. The British Medical Association in no way they not only did they not support them, they were actively against them.
Between them, Steptoe, scientist Bob Edwards and the often overlooked embryologist Jean Purdy worked out how to fertilise an egg and then implant it into the womb. There have since been 12 million IVF babies born worldwide. But none, of course, has had a homecoming like Louise Brown and her parents John and Leslie in 1978. After her birth, the world's first fertility clinic was set up in Cambridge in 1980. Louise, now 46 and a mother herself, says she's proud of the work still done in the centre today.
This is the jar. It's not a test tube.
No, not a test tube.
Where it all happened?
Yes.
Though techniques have changed over the years since the team worked out of this office, she says fertility issues are still not treated seriously enough.
Of course, there's so much now about how difficult it is for people to access IVF on the NHS or the different costs depending on where you are in the country.
I know that the 3 pioneers wanted it to be able to be used for everybody that needed it. And that's one thing that sort of breaks my heart, that not everybody that needs it can use it. Mum and Dad didn't have any money. They were very... well, they didn't have any money. They were just normal working class. And I think that was one of the reasons why Mum was chosen as well.
Louise was invited onto the set during the making of Joy, meeting a film team where IVF treatment was a common bond. The 2 writers, Jack Thorne and his wife Rachel Mason, here with Louise, had 7 rounds of IVF before their son was born. They are dismayed at the funding difficulties that mean the NHS is offering fewer IVF treatments.
If you were to ask someone on the street, they would see it as a luxury. You know, IVF is a luxury. If women want babies, and for whatever reason their bodies are preventing them from having babies, or their partner's bodies are preventing them from having babies, then they have the right for medicine to help them.
Fertility Network have just released a survey. PTSD is common, linked to infertility and fertility struggles. So it just needs to be recognised. You know, it doesn't always work, so where are people left?
We will unite the world against us.
The world was divided, some scandalised at the time over the ethics of IVF. But today there is widespread agreement that Jean Purdy, a focus in the film, should have been given more credit for being part of the original IVF team.
Bob and Patrick made an effort to include her on in the acknowledgements and the plaques and everything, but the medical community refused, and I think that's because she was a woman.
She was the world's first embryologist, really. I mean, there's so many now across the world bringing about all these different IVF stories, all this joy to so many families, but Jean was the kind of OG.
There have been women here before you.
I just want a baby.
Joy is a celebration of 3 pioneers, but also a timely reminder of how difficult it was to bring about a treatment that so many long for today. Nina Nanar, ITV News.